Rolling? Here we go. Good blessed evening, everybody. Told you guys I was coming back with another one on talking about rejection. In this one, it's going to be a simple one, a quick one. I hope your fast is going well. You guys should be ending it tonight at midnight with communion. I pray that you guys have been in your word. I know I have been. I got 3 chapters left to read for today. But it's been such a beautiful time, and I met so many beautiful people while being on this fast. Especially today and yesterday, I met a pastor from Jamaica, and I met a holy woman from Ohio today. So things have just been absolutely amazing on this one. On this fast, don't forget next to Friday, water. And I'll remind you guys with a short on Tuesday. With a short on Wednesday. I'll do it Wednesday morning because should do the fast at night or during the day, whatever. But let's jump right into it here with another video on rejection. So a lot of us face rejection in many different forms. Rejection in the womb is what we talked about last time, and it could be by an unwanted conception, and other prenatal rejections is being conceived too soon after marriage. Because again, according to Ephesians 6:12, we do not battle against flesh and blood. So it's not the physical that we're battling against; it's the spirits that are lined up via what at this time our parents have done or what they've decided to do. The birth of a previous child. If you have a younger sibling, you know how bad the second one usually is. Financial strain on the family is created. That can also be a form of rejection, which would manifest itself in the child fears, just fear in general. Remember 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy, for not giving you the spirit of fear. Another option is that the parents have all the children they had planned. So maybe you came as a unexpected surprise, and it kind of threw their plans for college, a house, or whatever awry. Okay. Now another one is rejection after birth. When parents wanted a girl and they end up having a boy, invested in that child, believing that they're a girl to try to please their mother or father. So, okay, that's weird. I do want to read this out to you. Parental rejection due to the wrong sex preference sometimes causes boys to become effeminate, as I just explained, and girls to become masculine. A girl who is rejected because he or she is the wrong sex will sense at a very early age the parental acceptance is gained through performing like a child of the opposite sex. And you see that in many cases today. You have overly masculine women or overly effeminate men. Consequently, a child who is rejected because of his or her gender may come to hate or reject his true self. And that can manifest in all types of forms of self-mutilation, cutting yourself, harming yourself, piercings, tattoos, or just being loose. Now, rejection of one's own sexuality can lead a person down a painful path in life and a multitude of rejections, as well as dangerous behavior, spiritually speaking. And we know the root of all things is spiritual. And again, we see this manifest in today's society. Every time you turn on TikTok, what do you see? You don't see these women out here praising God. You don't see these boys out here praising God. You see them doing something gay, the men, or you see the women. They do a lot of different things. But the point is that the rejection is there, and it's on display for those with eyes to see. Now, another very important point is the child as a victim of circumstance. Now, if the child is deprived of a close relationship with the parents for any reason, a door to rejection can be opened. For instance, rejection may come to a child who is left with others while the mother is at work or outside the home. The mother will pick up her toddler at the babysitter or child's daycare in time to put them to bed, and then take him back to the child care center before he or she is able to wake the next day. I've never been a proponent of daycare. I never went to it. My grandparents always watched me, and then I went to school. And I actually started school. We started school late. We started school just beyond the halfway mark, and we still passed to go to the next grade. So I was never a big proponent of daycare because I feel that time is very important for a child to bond with the parents. But the next point is children given up for adoption. This is something that's very it's a wound that can cut very deep, and it's one of those things that abandonment that you deal with from this type of situation, or I feel people like this really wrestle with the vagabond spirit. Like they always have to run away from a situation. That's their go-to because they feel like they have never been accepted. So when in doubt, they just run instead of facing it. And if you've ever dealt with somebody like that, that's why. They don't understand it, but they don't understand it consciously, but subconsciously, because of that spirit of rejection, their first thing is to run. Well, I'm going to pack my stuff and go. I know I had to deal with it for 5 years. Well, I'm just pack my stuff and go. Where are you going? They'll walk in the rain. They'll walk in the snow because they strong and they don't need nobody. Foolish. But it's because they deal with this type of rejection while they do it. And that type of rejection opens the doorway for that spirit, that vagabond spirit. Now, an orphan child goes hand in hand with children given up for adoption. The children of divorce. With the children of divorce, the tearing of a family always results in a trauma of some kind. So even though you think you're divorcing amicably, there's always going to be hurt for that child that was used to seeing mommy and daddy together. It's always going to be some type of hurt, some type of trauma. Now, it can be worsened if that little one has been subjected to an atmosphere of strife and conflict in the home. When parents just don't get along, they take it out on each other. The kid watches that, and it gives them an image of how, when they become of age, their relationship should be shaped. Sibling rivalry. A child as a victim of abuse. And that could be verbal abuse, physical abuse, which is self-explanatory. Now, in every sexual abuse, and those are the three. So verbal, physical, and sexual abuse. So in every instance of abuse, Jesus has the answer because he came to heal the broken and brokenhearted. So we're going to move on to sexual abuse. And a statistic is that out of 1 of every 4 females and 1 of every 8 males is a victim of sexual abuse. And this could be fondling, sodomy, incest, rape, sexual abuse, which creates extreme instability in the personality of its victims. If you've ever dealt with a man or woman that has had multiple sexual partners, they seem erratic, they seem crazy, they seem like they're the life of the party, but they're dealing with insecurity, loneliness, rejection, and a lot of suppressed things that they have yet to deal with. Again, the vagabond spirit, they decide to just keep running. Generally, this does stem from sexual abuse. Now, these wounds are usually suppressed and buried deep inside, as I just mentioned. This is because the enemy tries to put shame, which we talked about before, shame, about that incident on the victim. Oh, well, it was your fault. It was your fault. It was this person's fault. I had nothing to do with it. It tries to take the accountability away from you, or it tries to put all the accountability on you. And it forces you not to deal with the actual situation or the event that happened to cause this type of spiritual wound. Right. So we're going to move on to the next point, which is rejection in teen years or adult years. And I'm going to stop right here at this one. Peer rejection. You know, in every interaction, we want to be accepted by everybody and not rejected. Now, this is a normal part of growing up and then maturing in the world around us. So the questions in every interaction that we must ask ourselves is, did I have to sacrifice an important part of who I am in Jesus in order to gain the acceptance by this peer group? Or is it something unhealthy about being connected to this peer group that has an impact on my relationship with the Lord? And finally, what priority do you give Jesus in your life, and the care you take not to offend him matters greatly as we become spiritually mature believers. So those are the two questions in every interaction that you need to ask yourself. When you're at the club, what did you have to sacrifice? Did you have to sacrifice an important part of who you are in the Lord, in the Lord of hosts, to be accepted by this group? Or is it something about being connected to this group that's impacting your relationship? Start asking yourself these questions. If you did have to compromise, if you understand the commandments in Exodus 20, and if you understand the statutes, reading all throughout the Bible, if you understand that, did you have to break those rules or bend those rules? Or did you have to sacrifice and break the laws just to be accepted by these people who may or may not be walking down a broad path? So we're going to stop right there at this one. Actually, no. This is actually a very important part. Watch how you interact with others. It's equally important to note that we can be offended. We can be the offended party to someone in our peer group, that is. We can hurt others by our own rejection of them. If someone in our peer group is being rejected, we should support them rather than side with the other offenders. And one example is that when, I don't know, when you were a kid, somebody threw up or somebody farted in a group and all the kids were pointing and laughing at them. Instead of you siding with that person pointing and laughing at them, in this situation, you would take the side of the offended or rejected party because it's natural to pass gas. Everybody does it in this situation. There are other situations where, again, you have to ask yourself, is my acceptance in this group, am I sacrificing an important part of who I am in the body of Christ? Or is there something unhealthy about being part of this group? You have to always check yourself and check your heart when it comes to these things, because it can be detrimental. It's almost like a domino effect when we get into these things. All right, so this we're going to stick a pin in it right here for this video. Again, guys, don't forget to end your fast tonight. Like I said, we're doing midnight to midnight, so if you can't stay up to midnight, end it before you go to bed. I know for me, I took it late, so I'm going to have to do my communion tomorrow about 6 a.m. So don't forget to pray tonight. I pray the complete time of my God over you guys according to Ephesians 6. The helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the boots quickened with the peace of the gospel, the sword of the word, and shield of faith. I plead the blood of Jesus over you all as well, so that you may have a hedge of protection around your homes, your finances, your cars, your vehicles, everything that God has given you on either side. and that the works of your hands and your blessings may increase in the land, according to Job 1:10. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this, and I will catch you guys on the next one if I'm not busy tomorrow. Because the next one is a pretty big one, but I also want to get into more examples of these as well. This video was just about surface. Tomorrow we're going to get, not tomorrow, the next video we're going to get into examples of each of these. So tune in. That one's going to be a long one. You guys have a blessed night. Don't forget to end your fast, and take care.